conditional. Like Britain has said no, France also has said no, and for which furious Donald Trump threatened 200% tariff on wine and champagne of France, which has still not been implemented. The response has been lukewarm. Majority of the UN members have either ignored or rejected President Trump's Board of Peace because it goes beyond Gaza. And since President Trump has been repeatedly claiming that he has ended or brought ceasefire to at least 8 conflicts, including India and Pakistan, and he's trying between Ethiopia and Egypt and Cambodia and Thailand, Armenia and Azerbaijan and Iran and Israel and so on and so forth. India is taking a very cautious approach because it concerns its now larger foreign policy goals and national interest. It impacts India's national interest because if we join the Board of Peace, there it is most likely that Pakistan and America and others may gang up against India on the Kashmir issue. It shows how Pakistan has manipulated the American establishment there to get closer, and it will no doubt try to utilize this proximity to needle India on Kashmir or through Bangladesh or through Nepal or on the Indian domestic communal situation here, the strained the pressure on Muslims and Christians, so on and so forth. India would be walking into a trap because if Pakistan utilizes the Kashmir issue, just to give you one example, Donald Trump may use this as a card against India, saying that this unresolved conflict, which has led to wars and potential for a nuclear flashpoint in the subcontinent and for global peace and security and stability, they may bring a resolution for sending an international stabilization force. America was looking for every available opportunity to contain India, to humble India. So now they have got another opportunity to use this Board of Peace through Pakistan to link Pakistan with Saudi Arabia, with Turkey and with NATO. And America may try to put more pressure militarily and otherwise on Indian concerns. The Pakistanis have been continuously praising Donald Trump and his efforts to end the Operation Sindoor and bring about ceasefire, and they are going all out to praise everywhere. Whenever they get an opportunity in Davos, in Cairo, in Washington, everywhere their press recommends them for the Nobel Prize, so on and so forth.
Hello and a warm welcome to HW News Network, your one-stop show, truth be told, for some engaging and thought-provoking conversations. India has chosen to stay away from a high-profile ceremony in Davos that formally launched the proposed Board of Peace, an initiative which has been spearheaded by US President Donald Trump with the stated aim of establishing lasting peace in Gaza. Now, despite a direct invitation extended to Prime Minister Narendra Modi, New Delhi has opted out to send any representative to the event. Officials and experts familiar with the matter have said that the decision came after extensive internal deliberations reflecting India's cautious approach towards the sensitive proposal. Now, this was a deliberate absence, which is very, very clear. The launch ceremony was it marked the formal signing of the agreement related to the board's establishment, yet noticeably absent was any Indian government official. There was not a single representative from New Delhi present in the room. So this was a wait and watch approach, a cautious approach, but Are there any implications for India in store? So we'll try and explore all these possibilities. Joining me this evening is Professor Aftab Kemal Pasha, who's an international affairs expert and also a diplomat. Thank you so much, Professor Pasha, for joining. And my first question to you is that chosen to stay away from the Gaza Peace Board or the Peace Board signing ceremony. Now, would you say that this is a cautious approach, or would you say that this is a wait and watch approach?
Before answering your question, let me just briefly mention what is this Board of Peace all about. After the Gaza carnage, there was a ceasefire arranged, and the UN Security Council approved it in two phases, at least. The first phase has been nearly completed, and the second phase was related to the reconstruction and tackling Hamas, International Stabilization Force, and steps towards giving Palestinians the authority to govern eventually of the territory. So this Board of Peace was basically for post-war management, reconstruction, and limited duration with 2 years, 2026 and 27. And most of the Security Council members and non-permanent members, both of them endorsed, and there was a sigh of relief throughout the world. But what the Trump administration or Trump himself has proposed is a completely new proposal under the Board of Peace, which he says would not deal with Gaza, but to deal with other conflict areas around the world. And there are two types of membership. One is for 3 years, temporary membership, and the other one is permanent membership with a fee tag of $1 billion, and that President Trump would be its permanent chairman for the foreseeable future. This is a completely different system or structure proposed by the United States president, which many see as undermining the United Nations, and in fact quite rivaling the United Nations. The takeoff for this, all the invitations have been sent, as you said, to 60 countries, but very few have actually been on board. I think around 19 countries have signed the Davos Board of Peace membership, although it is not clear whether all of them have paid $1 billion or just only few, like Pakistan or even United Arab Emirates, etc. So the other permanent members have clearly said either no or made it conditional. Like Britain has said no, France also has said no, and for which furious Donald Trump threatened 200% tariff on wine and champagne of France, which has still not been implemented. And since the Prime Minister of Canada, the neighboring northern neighbor of America, he won wide applause at the Davos meeting. So immediately, President Trump withdrew the invitation to him in anger, which has become public. Both France and Canada have been targets of his anger. So the other members, China has just sidelined it, ignored it, and Russia has made it conditional, saying that it should make clear its stand towards the Palestinian stand and what steps it is going to take, and that one billion membership money should be deducted from the sanctions $300 billion foreign exchange of Russia, which the European countries did along with America 3 years ago. So in that way, the response has been lukewarm. Majority of the UN members have either ignored or rejected President Trump's Board of Peace because it goes beyond Gaza. And since President Trump has been repeatedly claiming that he has ended or brought ceasefire to at least 8 conflicts, including India and Pakistan, and is trying between Ethiopia and Egypt and Cambodia and Thailand, Armenia and Azerbaijan and Iran and Israel and so on and so forth. India is wary of what Trump would do, because now it is very clear that Pakistan has become very close with the United States. And in the signing ceremony of the Board of Peace, Pakistan's Prime Minister was on the right side of the
Allow me
president.
to interrupt you. Allow me to interrupt you because I also want to talk about Pakistan at great detail. But just a few points which I want to take up right now, and these are certain reactions coming in now. The reaction is that of. And want to play out because it's an interesting one. Now it seems that Elon Musk is also poking fun at this board of peace. Now he was talking at the Davos World Economic Forum, and Elon Musk is poking fun at Donald Trump's ridiculous board of peace. And he says that I heard about the formation of the peace summit board of peace, and I was like, and then he says it in PIECE, a little piece of Greenland, a little piece of Venezuela. All we want is peace. This is what Elon Musk has said. Now, this is what how he cracks a
I heard
joke, and
about
that is
the formation of the peace summit, and I was like, is that PIECE? A little piece of Greenland, a little piece of Venezuela.
We got one.
All we want is peace.
Okay.
Okay, so that is Elon Musk. He's cracking a joke, poking fun at the board of peace, a piece of Venezuela, a piece of Greenland. But we should not forget that Carney, who's the Canadian Prime Minister, he gave a stunning speech which left the world that's astounded how he resisted Donald Trump and how he resisted America. But this morning there was a tweet by Donald Trump himself. I want to show that also, and then I'll come to you again, Professor Pasha. And this is that he rebuffs Mark Carney. And he writes on Truth Social that, Dear Prime Minister Carney, please let this letter serve to represent that the Board of Peace is withdrawing its invitation to you regarding Canada's joining what will be the most prestigious board of leaders ever assembled at any time. Thank you for your attention in this matter, Donald Trump. Now, people are laughing and poking fun like like Elon Musk, and here this is how Trump resists, and he started revoking the invitation. Just want to remind the viewers that 60 nations were extended the invitation as far as the Board of Peace is concerned. Now, my point is that from India's perspective, India is still waiting and watching. It has taken a cautious approach, and the foreign officials have said that this is a very sensitive issue. They will try and gauge the implications as to how things progress. Now, do you think that this is an intelligent step by India, or that India should be prepared for a serious fallout?
Yeah, I think it is a very cautious approach, wait and watch, because this has very serious implications. You see, if India has to take a decision, it has to see what China does, what Putin does, although Putin has made it clear on the two conditions, and what Britain, France, and BRIC countries like Brazil, South Africa, Indonesia, or other members take. So, India is taking a very cautious approach because it concerns its now larger foreign policy goals and national interest. It impacts India's national interest because if we join the Board of Peace, there it is most likely that Pakistan and America and others may gang up against India on the Kashmir issue, saying that it is a long-standing logjam and that it has led to several wars and border conflicts and continuous tension between the two countries, including the threat of a nuclear war, which Trump claims he averted, saving 10 to 20 million lives last May. So in that way, America may take interest on the prodding of Pakistan and maybe Saudi Arabia and Turkey. So in that way, it will be a minefield It will be a minefield for India walking into a trap laid by Pakistan through
Professor,
America.
you made a mention of Pakistan, and I want to show you the kind of optics which were played at Davos. Now, Pakistan's participation was very, very obvious, and it certainly raises some kind of red flags for India. Now, I want to show you a visual, and for the viewers of the HW News, that look at this: Donald Trump sitting with Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif, and then he points out that look, Asim Munir is sitting right there in the audience. Now, this is happening at the Board of Peace signing in ceremony. Now, look at this. This is the way he points out. He's pointing out at Asim Munir, and then Donald Trump seconds that. He endorses this, smiles, and how this is how smiles are exchanged. So we surely see some kind of a proximity between Donald Trump and Shahbaz Sharif. Now, this kind of an optics, when it plays out at the World Economic Forum at Davos, where the signing ceremony is taking place, what does it mean for India? Is this not insulting India? Is this not a humiliation for India, sir?
It is more than an insult and humiliation. It is a real danger, real threat, and it shows how Pakistan has manipulated the American establishment there to get closer, and it will no doubt try to utilize this proximity to needle India on Kashmir or through Bangladesh or through Nepal or on the Indian domestic communal situation here, the strained the pressure on Muslims and Christians, so on and so forth. So it is a live danger, and we will be walking into a trap set by Pakistan, and America would try to exploit and put more pressure on India for various concessions it has been looking for, whether it is tariff or trade or to be closer in Quad against China, or buying oil, gas, weapons, and to cut off our trade with Russia and weapon systems and isolate us from our own close friends from BRICS, so on and so forth. So America has a clear strategy, and Pakistan has become part and parcel of that. India would be walking into a trap because if Pakistan utilizes the Kashmir issue, just to give you one example, Donald Trump may use this as a card against India, saying that this unresolved conflict, which has led to wars and potential for a nuclear flashpoint in the subcontinent and for global peace and security and stability, they may bring a resolution for sending an international stabilization force. For example, we know that there are terrorist camps in occupied Kashmir, and we attacked them previously. And if some attacks were to originate from there, and if we tell the world that Operation Sindoor is live, it has not ended, and if we try to bomb these terrorist camps, we will be confronting not just Pakistan, but also these forces which may be stationed in the Pakistan occupied Kashmir, and it may bring us eye to eye with Saudi forces or Egyptian forces or Turkish forces or any other country which may agree to deploy its forces in Kashmir. You see, as it is, Pakistan and China, Saudi Arabia have signed a defense pact whereby an attack on each country will be seen as an attack on the other. So if Pakistan is attacked, not only Saudi Arabia will come to the rescue of Pakistan, but also Turkey, which is a NATO member. If it also joins this pact, so-called Islamic NATO, the
No, but
entire NATO would be seen under Article 5 as Turkey being attacked, under attack from India. You see, what happened during the Goa conflict, let me just briefly remind. Goa liberation. You see, Portugal is a member of NATO, and Goa was considered by Portugal as its sovereign territory. They exercise complete control and sovereignty despite Indian protestation. So Nehru, when he wanted to liberate Portugal activated the clause that if Goa is attacked by India, it should be seen as an attack on Portugal and likewise on the entire NATO. So America, was alerted and it tried to send ships, aircraft carriers, but Nehru, in a very clever move, he talked to Jamal Abdel Nasser of Egypt, who blocked the Suez Canal, and so the naval armada or flotilla did not reach the Indian Ocean to come to the rescue of Portugal. So America was looking for every available opportunity to contain India, to humble India. So now they have got another opportunity to use this board of peace through Pakistan to link Pakistan with Saudi Arabia, with Turkey, and with NATO. And America may try to put more pressure militarily and
Right.
otherwise on Indian concerns, and also on domestic situation. They may say it may lead to a Holocaust, it may lead to killing of minorities, whether it is Muslims, Christians. So in that way, already they
Ask
had
you.
used the UN Human Rights Council in Geneva to pass a
Right.
resolution, which we defeated in 95, where I represented India. Yes.
But what I want to ask you is that this wait and watch approach of India, will it really help the country at this point of time? Now, Mark Carney has spelled out what he thought. Now, even though the invite has been revoked, I'm sure it doesn't make too much of a difference with the kind of speech he's already made. Now, I was reading this editorial written by Pratap Bhanu Mehta today on in Indian Express, and he very categorically says that the title of the article is that Trump is succeeding because of leaders who want to be little Trumps. But the most meaningful line which I found in this article was where he says that capitulation has triumphed over meaningful resistance. Now, is India even resisting any of this? My point is that this India's silence over this entire issue, what does it go to show about the country? And is it going to cost India dearly? If this is a manner in which Donald Trump can insult Mark Carney, or he can insult even Emmanuel Macron, then Modi is not too far away. I mean, will he have to pay some sort of a price for this silence now and staying away from this board of peace?
Yes, Prime Minister Modi is already paying a very heavy price. Look at the 10 or 12 points of pressure since Trump has come to power, whether it is sending the Indians shackled in military planes, increasing tariff from 25 to 50, now threatening 75% if we trade with Iran, then preventing us from using Chabahar, then denying Russian oil and threatening why you are importing arms from the Russians. You should buy oil, gas, and weapons, and open agriculture markets for American products, etc. And BRICS also, they have said you have joined an anti-American alliance, and they are not happy that we are members of the SCO and hobnobbing with China also, and they put a lot of hurdles on the Indians working in America on the visa, special visa, H-1B visa, and sanctions on Indian companies allegedly trading with Russia and with Iran and other sanctioned countries. So in that way, the pressure through Pakistan on Operation Sindoor has been relentless, along with other things. So now this pressure, in addition to Adani and Raw Agent and Khalistan, is bound to increase after what happened in Bangladesh, Nepal, Maldives, so on and so forth. So in that way, the price is already paid by Modi and by India. And although we have taken feeble steps in activating the BRICS currencies exchange and normalizing ties with China and opening up for their investments, and invited Putin and tried to normalize relations with Maldives. But these are small baby steps. But America is putting unending pressure. And now if Pakistan also joins hands with the United States, it is a danger from many sides because now it is going to be internationalized. The Kashmir issue, after abrogation of 370, it was seen as an internal matter. China
Right.
tried to poke its nose through Ladakh. But now, through Board of Peace, if we become members, Modi may come under direct attack because America has been trying to mediate. After Operation Sindoor, he wanted to mediate and he invited Prime Minister Modi along with Asim Munir, who has become a favorite. Shahbaz Sharif is just a sideshow on his right side during signing. But the main man on whom he focused, Trump, was Asim Munir. He is his favorite, and he had a one-to-one meeting. And in future, he is going to play a very vital role for whatever Trump wants to do here against Modi or India, in South Asia, against China, or maybe
Right.
against Russia and Iran as well.
Right. In fact, Donald Trump made a mention of India-Pakistan conflict again during this signing of the Board of Peace. I want you to play out that bite, Josh, if you're there in the backstage.
We
If you
were
can
very
play that
happy to
bite where
stop
he's again
the war that had started with India and Pakistan, two nuclear nations. And I was very honored when the Prime Minister of Pakistan said President Trump saved 10 and maybe 20 million lives by getting that stopped just before bad things were going to happen.
Right. So he's constantly making a mention of the fact that it was Donald Trump who mediated between India and Pakistan, and then he calls out on other conflicts also, which were stopped by him. I'm coming to the more serious question, Professor Pasha. That what do you think now? Immediately, if India continues to remain in this state of indecision, or rather a sensitive wait and watch approach by New Delhi, what could Donald Trump do immediately? I mean, he's Prime Minister Modi is already paying a heavy cost, but what now? What lies in store for India next, or maybe in the immediate term? If you look at what could Donald Trump do with India and Prime Minister Modi?
Yes, you see, the Pakistanis have been continuously praising Donald Trump and his efforts to end the Operation Sindoor and bring about ceasefire, and they are going all out to praise everywhere. Whenever they get an opportunity in Davos, in Cairo, in Washington, everywhere their press recommends them for the Nobel Prize, so on and so forth, which apparently Trump expected Modi also to do, because he claims to be doing a great job of preventing or saving the lives of millions of people in South Asia, both India and Pakistan, because of this ceasefire, which he claims to have done, which we reject, saying that it is a bilateral approach. So, in that way, our Prime Minister is not doing the bidding of Donald Trump, neither he's acknowledging his role, nor is he talking to him, nor he's meeting him in G7 or G20 or ASEAN or Davos. He's keeping himself aloof and not signing the trade agreement which he had promised, apparently, according to the Americans, on 13th February. And doing all things which America doesn't like, whether it is attending BRICS summit or meeting Chinese president or inviting ICC sanctioned criminal arrest warrant against Putin. So he is, and also in Quad, as we promised against China, we don't seem to be working with them in Indo-Pacific. So he's extremely upset, and what can be expected is more pressure either through Pakistan or directly, or more tariffs and more action under Adani arrest warrant or under the raw agents FBI notice. There are a lot of internal implications also. He may work to dislodge Prime Minister Modi also, as Americans are known for regime change everywhere, whether it is Bangladesh or Nepal or trying to do in Iran or Venezuela or around the world. They are experts in regime change. So it will not be very difficult if they target and if he stops calling Modi as his friend and saying that he is a hurdle and obstacle, he needs to be replaced by other leaders, either through directly aligning, getting the support withdrawn from TDP or Nitish Kumar or through Congress party or whatever. Americans are dead against China. That is their target. Russia and China is the target, whether it is through Greenland or through the various measures they are taking. So they want to cut India off the northeastern part, which is extremely crucial to undermine China from American perspective. And they demanded an air base and naval base through Sheikh Hasina, which she didn't give in Chittagong. So now they will try to put pressure on India on this thing. So if we don't yield on agriculture imports or on board of peace, he may withdraw the invitation sent to Prime Minister. He may put more tariff. He may try to take action on Adani issue or other sensitive issues, and also try to work to create Nepal type situation, Gen Z mobilization, or how they did against Ayatollah Khamenei in Iran by utilizing Starlink, so on and so forth. So there are many measures which Trump, as you know, he's very vindictive. He's extremely prone to very destructive decisions and whimsical and eccentric.
Right. All right. So, in the end, what I want to ask you is that now, what should India be prepared for? I mean, of course, all the possibilities you have already listed out. That in terms of implications, what all could happen, how Donald Trump now can exert more pressure, how he can make life hell for Prime Minister Modi. But what would you like to suggest towards the end? That what should India be doing actually now?
You see, the prime minister should spell out clearly what he intends to do directly. If not directly, he should allow the foreign minister or have a special envoy, roving envoy, to be sent to China, to Russia, to Britain, France, and all the countries who are prepared to say no to President Trump and see what can be done. We seem to have gone into a cocoon and we are not in touch. Davos was such a brilliant opportunity for the prime minister to not only confront Trump and say that is your view and we have a different view. As friends, we agree to disagree. There is no harm in saying so. But instead of that, if he's afraid of meeting him in international forums and multilateral forums, what is the signal Donald Trump gets that he can put more pressure on him? That is what a bully does, and President Trump is doing exactly what a bully does, and we seem to be knuckling under that pressure. And we need to be in touch with other countries and see what best can be done to contain this bully, because we are not a small country. Let me also say that the Americans need India more than any other country in this region, because if their policy is to contain China and Russia, we hold the balance in this region and we can use those cards. We
According to
seem
what you're
to be
saying, Professor Pasha, Donald Trump might not go to the extent of revoking India's invite or sending out a more stern message to Prime Minister Modi. Apparently, he won't be able to do that.
because there is a lot of pressure in America itself against what Donald Trump is doing against India. They say Americans have invested a lot over the last 35 years to win the friendship, and we have gone too far to build structures, to build ties in all areas. But now Trump seems to be just eliminating or undermining every piece by piece, dismantling the relationship, solid relationship, which both sides had committed and built with such great efforts in the face of insurmountable difficulties. So now American strategic thinkers, policymakers, they all know that India is extremely important, not only as a market for economic reasons, but also from a strategic point of view, because if they want to contain China, India's support
Right.
is extremely crucial, critical, and they will not be able to achieve. Pakistan will not be able to deliver the kind of things which India can because of its position, location, strength, economy, so on and so forth. Pakistan is a vulnerable nation, and their economy stands on a weak foundation. And Americans know that it is a basket case kind of a thing. It is propped up by America and Saudi Arabia and the Gulf nations, so on and so forth. So India is a much more attractive bigger country, and but unfortunately our leaders are not using that card. They seem to be overawed by the threats and the insults received from the United States president. So in that way we need to wake up and tighten our belt and see how we can respond in a meaningful way without hurting this bully, without annoying and angering. That there are ways and ways of doing it diplomatically, silently, provided there is an open channel of conversation. If there is no meeting, Trump says, his minister says Modi is not willing to talk to him or meet him. So what does it? So he's so terrified. It appears that this is all undermining the gains which we have made, and it is high time the Board of Peace issue also is tackled in a more meaningful way, without hurting the United States and without undermining our core national interest, and that is Kashmir or internal peace, so on and so forth. So the government is paralyzed, it's frozen, and it is terribly afraid of saying what it wants to say. But this is not the kind of approach a great country like India should have. It should have its voice, and people are in the global south waiting for our government to articulate and see a country like Carney, Canada, or France. They have taken a position, and they don't mind meeting President Trump. So, what is the problem with our Prime Minister when can't understand? He can meet and say, we disagree, and that is your point of view, and we will remain friends.
Right. All right. So this watchful wait from New Delhi's end continues, but we'll have to see when and at what point of time New Delhi breaks silence, sends out a more stern message to Donald Trump. Will they be ever able to do that? That's also another question. Thank you so much, Professor Pasha, for joining on HW. Thank you. Thank you.